Good morning, students. Students, today we are going to start new chapter, that is chemical bonding. So before it, first of all, we must know that what is chemical bonding, what is a chemical bond. So there are different type of chemical bonds, as you have listened, that ionic bond, coordinate bond, metallic bond, covalent bond are there, van der Waal bond is there, hydrogen bonding is there. So different type of bonds are there. What is actually a chemical bond? What are these bonds? These bonds are generally the attractive forces by which the atoms, molecules and ions they are held together in a chemical species. Okay? So these are simply the attraction forces only. Different type of bonds are there, like we can say that ionic bond is there. In ionic bond there is strong attraction force between the ions, due to which they are very close to each other. Like in covalent bond is there. In covalent bond, you know that the sharing of electron is there, so due to which the electrons generally means shared by the atoms, and the atoms are overlapped. For example, let's take a simple example like hydrogen and hydrogen. So they are just sharing electrons. Okay, and in this way we can write them like this. This is the covalent bond. Like coordinate bond is there, like we can say metallic bond is there, hydrogen bond is there. Hydrogen bond occurs between the hydrogen means water molecules and alcohol, like alkyl chlorides. Some elements are there that you will study later. Like this is a water molecule. uh, this is a water molecule. So one of the water molecule, the oxygen, is having the electrons. So this oxygen is actually attracting the hydrogen of the other water molecule, and in this way form a partial bond, partial attraction force. This is called hydrogen bond. So what is this? This is the hydrogen bond. Okay. Now students, there are certain things that why does a chemical bond is formed, that what are the causes for the formation of a chemical bond, that is the causes for the chemical combination, that why the different type of atoms combine to form the different chemical species. Why they are combined means why they are forming the chemical bond. There are only two reasons. The first reason is to decrease in energy. So how decrease in energy? Students, generally what happen that the bonded state of an atom is more stable as compared to the non-bonded state. Like for example, hydrogen in free state is quite unstable as compared to the bonded state. Once the atoms get bonded with the other atom, they form a chemical bond with other atom, then their potential energy, their energy of the system, it decreases, because during the formation of bond a large amount of energy is released. Okay, either it is means like we can say it is lattice energy will be there for the formation of bond, or some bond energies are there. So actually if the energy is released in large amount, then now the system is having lesser amount of energy, and that's why it become stable. All those systems, all those atoms having lesser amount of energy are comparatively more stable. So first reason is the decrease in the energy. Generally that's why we can say that the bonded state of atom is more stable as compared to the non-bonded, because what happened, due to lesser amount of energy they have less energy, so they are more stable. Due to lesser energy, they are more stable and they have more energy, so they are comparatively less stable. This is the reason. Second reason is the octet rule or Lewis octet law. So actually according to the Lewis, why the elements, why the different type of atoms combine, there is a reason that every atom tends to every atom wants to have either 8 electrons in its outermost valence shell, like every atom wants to have Ns2 and np6 type of configuration in its outermost valence shell. So if any atom is having this one configuration, that means every atom is having overall 8 electrons in its outermost valence shell, and in that case the atom will be more stable. For helium, in the case of helium, when any element, or he said that according to Lewis, he said that if any atom having single shell only, like helium is there, so for helium, if in outermost valence shell 2 electrons will be there, then also it will be more stable. So presence of 8 electron, it is called octet, and presence of 2 electrons, it is called duplet. So according to the octet rule, every atom wants 8 electron in its outermost valence shell, and or for helium wants 2 electron in its valence shell. Helium, hydrogen having only one shell, those atom wants only 2 electrons in their valence shell. So if they are having this number of electrons, like 8 electrons, then that means their octet is complete. This is called octet, and such type of elements are more stable. Okay, so why they are stable? It was told by Lewis that if the fulfilled configuration Ns2 or Np6 is present in outermost shell of an atom, then this configuration is more stable. Why? Because this configuration is having lesser amount of energy, so it is more stable, and that's why to achieve the octet, elements generally gain or lose electron to get such type of configuration, and in this way they get combined with the other type of atom and form a chemical compound, form a molecule. So this is also a reason for the chemical combination of atoms. Okay, now the second thing is we will discuss about the Causal and Lewis approach for the chemical combination or for the chemical bonding. Generally, Causal and Lewis in 1916, they actually were just watching the atoms properly, and after that they concluded that generally an atom is just like a walnut. Okay, like they said, if we know that a walnut is there and inside a walnut the edible part is there, like this. Okay, this is the edible part. This edible part is called kernel. It is called kernel, and this is the heart of shell which protects the inner part. Only the harder part is affected by the all the external conditions like weather changes, temperature, rainfall, everything. Okay, so the inner kernel is protected by the outermost tough covering. They also just represent the element, the atom of an element, just like the walnut. They told that the inner kernel is just like the like we can say that outermost shell, this protective layer is just like the outermost valence shell of an atom, and that valence shell is protecting the inner kernel of the atom. Like outermost valence shell is considered to be the protective hard layer, and inner shells as well as nucleus is considered as the kernel. So in this way they told that means all the all the different type of atoms, they are having, means we can say, if we are assuming also that let's consider this is the innermost kernel of an atom, like this is nucleus and these are the inner core orbitals and orbits where electrons are present, and this is the outermost valence shell. So all these innermost orbits and nucleus, all these are protected by this one, because only this outermost valence shell will participate in the chemical bonding, in releasing the energy generally. Afterwards, they also told that Lewis was a scientist. He actually postulated, he actually gave his concept that every atom tends to become stable by linking with other atoms with the help of chemical bonds, by forming chemical bonds with other type of atoms. Just we can say, like the sodium is there, so means chemical bonds. But why they are forming chemical bonds? Because according to Lewis, every atom tends to have the configuration that is ns2 np6 in their outermost valence shell, that is every atom wants to fulfill its octet. So since sodium is having 1s2 2s2 2p6 and 3s1 configuration, so actually what happens, either sodium may take 7 electron in its valence shell, so that its orbital, or it is having the 8 electrons in valence shell, but it is quite very impossible for the sodium due to its larger size as compared to the next element. So that's why sodium generally loses the electron and form Na plus ion, and that's why it is having the 8 electron in its outermost valence shell and it becomes stable. Similarly, like if we are taking the example of a non-metal like chlorine, its configuration is 287. Here 7 electrons are there in its third shell, that is valence shell. So what it will do, it can easily take 1 electron from outside and it will form Cl negative ion, which is having the fulfilled 288 configuration. So actually, according to Lewis, every atom tends to have its fulfilled octet. Every atom wants to fulfill its octet to become stable. Okay, and these all valence shell electrons, they are protecting the inner core electrons or kernel of the atom. Now the next thing is that there was a reason. So in this, we can say that every atom is losing or gaining electron to complete its octet. One more example was there, like if we are taking the example of oxygen, then we know that oxygen is having 6 electrons in its outermost valence shell. Let's take this one. If oxygen also wants to have means 2 more electron, so instead of getting the electron, there is another way by which they can get the electron. This is the sharing of electron. So we can say, either by sharing of electron, by donating, or by gaining electrons, every atom tends to have or wants 8 electron, overall 8 electron in its outermost valence shell to become stable, to decrease their energy. Okay. Now the next part that we are going to discuss is about the Lewis dot structures or Lewis symbols. So before starting the octet rule, we will go through the Lewis symbols. So what are the Lewis symbols? Generally, if any molecule is formed, or we can say in an atom, the outermost shell, it is called valence shell, and the number of electrons present in valence shell, they are called valence electron. These valence electrons are protecting the inner shell electrons, and also these valence shell electrons are involved in the combination purpose, that is combination process. That means I can say that they are only responsible for the formation of bonds, or for the releasing or for gaining the energy, that is for the formation of bonds. Every atom, the means if we are representing the valence shell electron of any atom in the form of the Lewis structures or Lewis symbols, then how can we represent? Let's see. So since a student, like let's start with the hydrogen. Hydrogen is having one outermost shell, so its valence shall be considered that one. So this will be the dot. This is the Lewis symbol for hydrogen, which shows that hydrogen is having one electron, one valence shell electron. Now for helium, two electrons are there. Now for lithium, if we consider for the lithium, then the configuration of lithium is 1s2 2s1. The lithium is also having one electron in its outermost valence shell, and we are representing the one electron like this. Now beryllium is having two electrons. I am representing it like this. Boron is having three electrons. I can represent it like this, okay, toward the three sides. Then carbon, the four electrons of carbon, four valence shell electrons of carbon can be represented like this. So once we represent all the electrons, means if four sides are there and four electrons are there, we will keep one electron, okay, like this. Then for nitrogen, we know 5 electrons are there, so this is the 4 electrons, 4 valence shell electrons which we have represented, and with fifth valence shell electron we will show the pairing of the electron like this. And oxygen, 1 2 3 4, so it will be 5 and it will be 6, okay. Then for fluorine, 1 2 3 4 5 6, and this one is 7, like this. For neon, we can represent it like this. Neon, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. In the Lewis symbol of any element, if the electrons are paired, then the pairing of electrons represent the lone pair. The paired electrons, they are called as lone pair. Like nitrogen is having one lone pair, oxygen is having two lone pair, fluorine is having three lone pair, neon is having four lone pair of electrons. And lone pair of electrons also is having an important significance in the bonding as well as hybridization. That means so many chemical processes. So these are about the Lewis symbols. Now what is the importance of these Lewis symbols? So let's discuss. Generally, the different type of dots in the Lewis symbols, these dots represents the number of valence shell electrons in an atom. So if number of valence shell electrons are known to us, then we can easily determine the valency of the group, that is common valency of the group, okay. As well as we can also determine the number of group. We can also determine easily the configuration, that is outermost configuration of the atom also. If how many electrons are present in the outermost valence shell, that's why by considering it we can also get an information about the outermost valence shell configuration, and also about the number of bonding which the number of bond which an atom can form with the other element to become stable. So these were certain things. After telling all these certain things, Cossell and Lewis, they wants to draw attention to some of the facts. Like in the periodic table, the metals as well as non-metals, they are means highly electronegative like the halogens and highly electropositive like the alkali metals, that is group 1 and group 17. They are generally separated by the noble gases. So they are separated by the noble gases and only these elements have the tendency, these two groups have the tendency to lose and gain electron very fastly, so that they can become stable like the noble gases, they can fulfill their octet. Okay. Now the next thing is that even if any positive ion, if any element is forming the positive ion, so it is forming the positive ion just to get the noble gas configuration, and if the element, if any electronegative element is there, it is getting the ion, it is accepting the ion, then also it is attaining, it tends to attain the noble gas configuration, which is having 8 electrons in its valence shell, so that's why they tends to become stable. And also the negative and positively charged ions, if these are formed like here Na plus and Cl negative, then these negative as well as positively charged ions, they are means attracted towards each other by the strong electrostatic force of attraction. Students, as you know that what about the different type of bonds, so after this we will study about the different type of bond, that is ionic bond, covalent bond, octet rule firstly.